That so. Yeah, so Nancy, if you tell us a little bit about Magnum Powder Coating, I know you all are up in Michigan there, and tell us all that you offer and all that you do for your customers for you.
Well, we're very diversified. We
Mm-hmm.
do tend to stay away from automotive,
Mm,
just because we've had some experience with automotive years back, and we like to be more diversified. And they just they wanted to kind of own us. And that
exactly.
wasn't going to happen. So anyway, so we've tried to remain not the biggest, but the best, and we
Right.
stand behind 100% of what we do. So
Mm-hmm.
anything that is the conventional powder coating,
Right.
we can do. We specialize in rack building, the kind of the hard to accomplish maybe finishes that other people have failed at.
Mm-hmm.
Come to us and we can troubleshoot with them.
Gotcha.
So
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. And
we
yeah,
about
yeah,
everything.
yeah. You also is it sandblasting? Is that too? You also offer that up for your
Yes.
customers,
We
right?
do.
Yeah.
Chemical stripping and sandblasting.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So we
Gotcha. You're
maintain all of our equipment here, our own racks, hooks. So they're on a constant cycle. So we're always keeping like really clean um, tooling. So
gotcha. Gotcha. Well, let's go back to the year of our Lord 1992, which is I'm trying to do the math. Would have been 30, 31, 31, 32 years, right?
no,
Or
it's
how many?
34 April 1st.
34. 34. There
Um,
goes my math. Yeah. Tell me back
yeah.
to that. How did you all get started in the powder coating?
Um, yeah.
I did it at a company that made chairs,
Mm-hmm.
and I powder coated there. I powder coated, then I learned all the equipment, setting it all up, and that's what I did every day. And then
Oh, okay. So
then
they
my
had an in-house operation there, right?
yes,
Is
they
that what?
did.
Okay,
Yep,
gotcha.
yep.
Okay. And
And they at that company at Irwin Seating, they were paid for improvements,
mhm.
suggestions for improvements to their company. So the owner had just called Steve in and just said, "Hey, what are you doing here? You could be better utilized running your own company." So so he did, and
Right.
I had a very good job, and I just um, kept insurance for the family, and that was the same year Matt was born. The other one
Wow.
that's
A lot
here.
going
So,
on back then. Wow.
yeah. So
Yeah.
we did have a lot going on. We had a 3-year-old and a newborn. So
Gotcha.
we just
Got
dove in.
right. I was
And
going to say that was a big leap of faith to do that. I mean, like I said, but I guess if you don't take that leap, you never get to where you should be going. I guess at that.
that's right. We
Yeah. A
started
lot
in
of.
a one, two stall garage actually,
Mm-hmm.
and just worked our way up as we had more work. Then we worked our way to a storage unit on West River Drive, and we ended up having 12 storage units before we started looking for
Wow.
property. And we
Wow.
got really lucky because that address was 4970, and where we are right now is 5500. It just came up for sale, this building, and
Mm.
all we had to do was move down the street, and
it just worked out really well.
yeah,
Couple
Right.
of
Yeah.
editions later, here we are.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I was gonna say how many years were you in business before you actually moved into that location you're at now? Then.
What, 4 or 5 years?
92 to 2003. So
Okay.
almost 9 years actually
9 years.
before
Okay.
Oh,
2000.
before. Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Okay.
And then
And
we were about 3,000 square feet when we moved in, and now we have 18,000 that
wow.
we've just, we're still very small, but we pack a lot of line space, and we have quick turnaround. So we're not storing a lot of things here very long.
We rely on
Right.
efficiency.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
And you mentioned early on you were doing some automotive. What type of work were you doing early on when you started?
The Dodge Viper gas cap.
Yeah.
We did.
Okay.
We put the clear coat on the Viper gas cap for quite a few years. Yeah.
Yeah. It just had to be like almost so sanitary around here. It was just,
It was.
Well, it was an acrylic clear. So
yeah, it was acrylic clear. And yeah, they just, I don't know, they were very demanding, very
Yeah.
demanding. And we were like small business. We wanted to keep the custom work. So we just did not have the capacity to continue
Right. Right.
with that type of work.
Yeah, Steve, I was going to ask you, how long had you been powder coating before you started this in '90s? How many years had you been doing it?
Probably 9 years.
Okay,
9 years
gotcha.
before I started. I was 18 years old when I first started.
Okay. At that chair company that you were talking about was
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, I guess you just kind of fell in love with it, had a passion for powder coating. I mean, I've talked to a lot of people that do have that. It's such a they consider it an art form sometimes. You know, you're really to do that.
Well, I restore a lot of things. I have a lot of antiques that you know, gas pumps, air towers, barber poles, barber chairs. Just just I turn old things into new again.
Gotcha.
We did powder coat an entire truck, totally disassembled. A Dodge, what year was
41.
it? A 41 Dodge pickup truck that was totally
Wow.
And it was
restored.
it was nice. It was straight. It was beautiful.
Nice. Now, was that yours or was it customers then?
No, it was mine.
It was yours. Okay. Wow. Yeah, I was going to say, not too many people get the whole thing powder coated. It could be quite expensive to do that. So, yeah.
Everything. So.
Wow. Great. Yeah. I know you all have a fairly large conveyor line there, right? That do about over 1,000. Is that right? Over 1,000 feet for that?
1,100 feet enclosed.
Okay. When did you add that one into your system there?
Jeez.
Well, that's also been tweaked and added to.
Yeah.
A lot of
Probably around 2006.
Okay.
We started adding the bigger equipment in there, filling the space. 2005, 2006 for like the big washer and the extended line.
We used to have
Gotcha.
ivory.
Yeah.
Then we went to when it closed.
Yep. So we have an offline oven that is 8 by 8 by 24 feet. And so it takes a part size of 6 by 6 by 20 feet long. And then this conveyor runs kind of on the outskirts of that custom area.
Gotcha.
We have
So,
production on the outside and custom more centered.
On the inside.
okay. Yeah. And this mostly, like you said, mostly OEMs and things that are manufacturers that are sending you parts to do large quantities, or how is it that you're getting these?
Large quantities. We have a robot that we used to use. We're holding on to it in hopes that, it was a great investment at the time, but then a lot of things went to China and we lost the coating, big volume jobs. Yes. And so now we, we have it in case those ramp up again, and they are.
And we are starting to see some of those parts transitioning back into the U.S.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So mostly it's signage, office furniture,
food equipment.
Yeah, food equipment. Yeah. A lot of the food manufacturers and conveyors, like for the postal system and rock quarries, things like that.
Yeah, it is a very diverse clients you have there, which, like you said, kind of helps with the major downturns or things like that, right? I guess it helps you weather those when you can. Or
our products go worldwide too.
Yes.
I mean, some of our customers ship out to India, and they go everywhere.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, the electrical covers and things, we do a ton of those every single day. We do bakery equipment every single day.
Gotcha.
Just,
The desk this computer is on.
Yeah, it's amazing. The diversity, we don't say no to a lot. We are, when we bring new clients in, we tell them that we're not about the best price and throwing something on line with the finish. We provide, our goal is to provide an A finish on every single surface that comes in here. And so we try to educate our potential customers as much as we can as they come in, and let them know that we're going to stand behind everything that we do. And
Right. Right.
We
Yeah.
don't
And
lose. Yeah.
I was gonna say, you mentioned you really don't have a outside salespeople, so a lot of this word of mouth, or how do you get a lot of the customers?
Oh,
That you're...
all of
Word
it.
of mouth. Mhm.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I get,
We're in a
well, like I
great
said,
location too. Like we get probably 2,000 cars a day. I mean, it's a great location that we're into.
okay.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
And Matt, when did you start there at the
When he was 2.
Yeah. I kind of like how
that picture.
Yeah, kind of like how
Yeah.
Steve started when he was 18. When I was old enough to go into the storage units or go into the garage when he was working, I was always out there too. I found a passion for it at a very young age, and I still enjoy doing it every day.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha. Yeah, like I said, it is something I know with a lot of family-owned operations that do it. Although, I find a lot of times where you have the people, their members of their family don't want to do it. They want to go do something else, or maybe I don't know if they did it when they were in high school and stuff. It's a family-owned, but they went on to do other things, which makes it kind of tough with that. But it sounds like it's a great situation you guys have there with that.
Yeah.
Kind of keeping it going with that. Yeah, and really, like I said, when you talk about the customers that you have being as diverse, it really. And how many employees do you have, by the way, total with?
Ideally, we should have about 14, and right now we have 10, and we have had a sign out front. We don't even get applicants. It's tough. It's very tough.
The unemployment rate's up. I mean, what's people doing that?
Yeah, exactly. That's it. And we we lost a coder because he moved out west. But he's done that 2 other times and came back. So our hope is maybe he'll come back. I don't know. But, and we had a gal that was in our office for over 20 years. She retired. So we've lost, we lost some good people along the way and in retirement or changing careers or whatever. So
right.
Ordinarily, we don't, we pay well, we pay higher than other coders in the area. We've done our research, and we also, we have a 401k plan for them, individualized plan for them.
That's pretty rare
insurance.
in the industry. Yeah.
Yeah. And we pay 90% insurance for them. And we have life insurance for them as well that we take care of. So we try to, invest in our employees. But we have to get them through the door. We're working with temp agencies that don't even have people to send us.
Right. So, yeah. It's strange because when you got a company that's been around for 30 some years, you kind of think they're going to be around for a while to do that. It's not an overnight thing here with that, but yeah. And like I said, one of the things that caught my eye, I saw, I think it was some of your bowling pictures. I mean, you guys have a championship team there. People should be flocking to you all, don't they? How did that all get started with that?
Well, growing up, so the one that is not into our business is our daughter. We have just the two, and she is into the dental world. And so something we did as a family, starting when they were very young, is bicycling and bowling, because those two things could keep us close to home, and we could do them all as a family. So they stuck. And so so we have a Magnum team, and then it's expanding out to our grandson so far. So he just made it to state representing his school. So
that's great.
So that's not the last of our bowling.
Are they all the members of the team employees of yours, or are you just just sponsor them?
They're not. They're just great supporters of our mission.
Gotcha. Well, there you go with that. So what is it like? Like I said, I know sometimes I see where you've got a kind of a father who brings in his son or his daughter to work, or a mother brings on. But when you've got all of you working there, is it hard to separate? How does that whole family model work when you've got everybody's working together and such like that? You can't really kind of get away from each other, can you? Sometimes
it used to be really tough.
Well, for Matt, our requirement was either a trade school or college. And he did not like school. He was done. And so he did, we said, you're going to have to row your own boat for a while and see how that goes, because we don't want to be the fallback, I guess. I don't know. But so he worked for 3 years and 5 years, I'm sorry, and did robot programming for a automotive company.
Tier 2.
Tier 2. And he put in a lot of hours, and then he was married and started having a family. And he called us up and said he was interested in pretty much his future might look better here. And we were definitely interested. And Matt is a very hands-on person. We're given compliments all the time that he makes our customers feel like they're the only customer, or that they're just the most important. He carries his cell phone, in which we do not. So he has all the customers, at the end of his fingertips, and vendors. And if anything goes wrong, he's right on the phone to make it right. So he's been a great.
That's great. Yeah. And Matt, how long have you been there then? Did you say?
Realistically, since 2010, after I graduated high school.
Okay.
I was full time. Then I left in 2013 or 2012, and then came back. But yeah, no. But I mean, I've always been around, but I got more involved, I guess, probably 2016.
Yes, 2016.
Okay. 2016 is when I'm like, I dove head first.
Right. Yeah. Right. Yeah. And I've seen that where, sometimes, a child will go off, work somewhere else, and then come back and they bring some great ideas, right, from being outside the business and bringing those back in. Sometimes that's great. Sometimes there's conflict there. I mean, how have you all been able to work through all of that when it comes up and those type of things? Or
I believe that I stay in my own lane in the office, and they stay in their own lane in the shop. And I, beginning this, I trusted Steve to run, a company in the back that was, the loyalty and everything was there. And you just have to trust each other doing the right thing. People have said it 1,000 times. I don't know how you do it, because I would kill my spouse. But yeah, we just try to run a company with integrity, and just trust each other that we're doing the right thing in our place. It's not always been good, I mean, we've gone in the bathroom and had a screaming match before, and
we've had plenty of them.
Yeah. But
it's all for the benefit of the company, right? It's all trying to make things better. And like you said, I know you mentioned before, you have that, 100% guaranteed your customers. You're wanting to treat them right, because obviously that's how you've been building your business over the decades, is, repeat business. And like I said, them telling other people about you. And that's really, I guess that's really where it starts, right? Of, making sure you stand behind your product and your price and what you say you're going to do. And that's really, seems simple enough, but a lot of people just don't do it. But so hats off to you all for being able to do that.
Yeah. I mean, we're members of the Better Business Bureau. We've never had a complaint, but I like to use others that are, members. And we like to, stay local and things. And one of the things that we did for a customer is they could only do business with minority or woman owned in this part of their business, the finishing part. And so we changed ownership by one share. And so, I mean, that's very political to me, but we did it for them. And so we could remain their vendor. And we've done things like that along the way. Somebody wanted us to put a zinc primer system within our line. And so we went ahead and did that for them.
Gotcha.
We do have a close relationship with all of our customers, as close as we can. They are transitioning out. A lot of the people that we dealt with are retiring.
Right.
And that's another challenge in a company business, family business too, is
Yeah, for me, because the people I grew up dealing with, people who my parents dealt with their entire time. Now all of a sudden they're transitioning out, and then I'm having to deal with the new generation who doesn't quite have like the kind of intellect that the people I was used to dealing with. So it's a battle.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah. It really makes you want to. It really forces you to kind of develop those soft skills of dealing with some people sometimes that just may want to drive you nuts about that, or they come in and want you, after 18, 20 years, they want you to prove yourself to them again and things like that. And it's, when you get a different face and a different driver, and I hear that from a lot, that it's difficult sometimes when you lose a key person at a customer and you get somebody else, and it's a little bit different sometimes. Not good and bad, but it's a challenge to do that. And so what do you all? Like I said, you've all been pretty consistent, with what you've been doing. Any plans for the future, of equipment expansion or anything you're eyeing or taking a look at, or?
Yeah, we actually make an improvement every single year, substantial improvement, either equipment, replacing equipment, maintenance, something big. Last year was that sandblasting room that we put in. But, we are approached continuously, to sell. People want to buy the company in a bad way. Right. And we are choosing with Matt's interest, and he's proven to be a great leader here. We're going to transition the ownership over to him.
Hopefully 2027.
Yeah, 2027 is what it's going to be. And we're not leaving anywhere. We're here. We're family run. It's kind of our baby. So we're not going to retire just yet, but work a little less and maybe take a vacation here and there, where we hadn't been able to do. And we're going to continue to grow. We have since 2008. It was devastating for us financially. So we let that be a lesson, and now we're debt free. So we run as a debt company and encourage debt free personal living as well, never above our means. Always give back. That's our I don't know, it's our lifestyle. We didn't get here by ourselves, and we know that, and we're just here to manage what's been given us to manage. So never take anything for granted, but just continue to just
keep what you're doing. Keep what you're doing. It seems like a recipe for success with that. And you mentioned you added the sandblasting. That was last year that you just added that? Is that?
Yeah, we've always
sandblasted. We've always had that capability, but we put in a designated blast room, right? So we put a storage container, 40-foot storage container, shipping container, and kind of made that into a big blast room, big collector at the end of it. You can stand 5 feet away from anybody sandblasting, you don't feel a grain of sand hit you. It's a very efficient setup that Steve kind of put together.
Gotcha. Yeah. And I guess, like I said, with Matt, I guess you're sticking around since you're going to be taking over with that. And it is a great luxury. Like I said, I know I talked to a lot of family-owned operations like yourselves across the country where they don't have that continuation plan. Like I said, sometimes, their kids just don't want to follow in the footsteps, and they may have an employee that they're thinking about, and taking over and things like that, but really an exit strategy, a transition strategy, but one that I think looks like it's going to work well for you all, especially for your staff and your customers. They know, it's not much is going to change with that. I'm assuming, and that's got to be good for them to know that too. With that.
Yeah.
And Steve is just genius when it comes to innovation. He
can see things that people can't see.
Yeah. Yep. And that's been great too. And he won't go anywhere.
No.
So if there's anything that he can do to simplify the process or, to make it more efficient, then he's here to guide also. And we always have things inspected, but he designs things like 12 times before they really come to life.
That's a sign of a genius. It is a sign of a genius with that.
And
right,
so we
yeah.
always have like, licensed electricians or, people coming through to finalize everything for us. So.
Right. And like I said, Matt, are you excited about this? I mean, it's got to be, you'll be the one, sitting in the big chair soon in 5 or 6 years, and it'll all be yours.
Never been one to sit in a chair, but no, it is very exciting. I think, the biggest thing for me is to kind of just squash that stigma of second generational businesses.
Right.
Because I mean, I can't tell you how many times I've dealt with people that are like, oh, you're Steve and Nancy's son. Like, let me just talk to mom and dad. Like, so
right.
Try to, live up to how they've ran a business and, keep that same reputation and, everything along those lines. Just try to keep it going smooth and expand and, keep it going.